questions for Coach London.
The motivation is August 30th, playing UCLA. The motivation is getting better, executing, performing, production. The motivation is, we're not satisfied with what happened last season. We don't talk about last season because we know the challenges that are ahead of us now. And so the motivation is to get better, become a team that can execute the things that we're asking them to do, to have the players that I believe that can perform in those systems and functions, and then now the production on the field. And that's what's relevant, and that's what's pertinent right now.
They've been the biggest surprise, I think, this spring and going into fall camp and so far with the first 5 days. That's probably where we are most improved. You always want a dominant go-to #1 guy, but I like the competition. I like the numbers we have. We've got depth. Anytime you have that type of competition and depth, then they're working harder at practice because there's only so many reps. So it's a good group. I think they'll continue to improve. There are some young guys in there.
I mean, the basic concept of what we do defensively, the Mike linebacker or our call linebacker, doesn't always have to be the Mike, but the majority of my career has been the Mike linebacker. And one of the safeties is the guys that control the defense. So there's so many automatics that come into play versus when they're going to attack, unusual formations, so on and so forth. So they got to think like I think. And those situations go on every day in practice. And the maturity aspect of Henry, the growth that he had after about 5 games, then he started figuring out, oh yeah, it's this. This is what we got to do. Anthony was a little bit ahead of that. But both those guys now together, they can see the formation, understand quick substitution, so on and so forth. Okay, they're in that, this is what we're going to do.
That's the biggest thing. As you look at punt return, your first goal is to get the ball back. Your second one then is to gain 10 yards. Your third is then have a guy that's your ability, once that 10 yards hits, to be able to make something happen and go the distance.